Today on the Stay at Home Chef, I'm showing you how to make the most amazing strawberry cake. It took lots of experimentation and many rounds of testing, but I think we finally have it, the most amazing strawberry cake. To start, you'll want to rinse and hull 1 pound of fresh strawberries, and then place them into a blender. Then pop the lid on the blender and puree until smooth. Pour this into a non-stick saucepan. You should end up with about 2 cups of strawberry puree. Place this on the stove over medium-high heat and bring it to a simmer. We're gonna let this simmer so that some of the water content of the strawberries evaporates. You wanna keep simmering it until it's reduced by half, which will take about 20 minutes. If you end up having issues with splattering, you can use a small piece of aluminum foil to act as a little shield. Just make sure that the strawberry puree can vent so that that moisture can escape and evaporate. Once it's simmering, keep the heat at about a medium and be sure to scrape the sides and bottom of the pan to keep anything from burning. Once the strawberry puree has reduced by half, transfer it to another container to cool a little bit before making your cake batter. Your strawberry puree can be warm going into your cake batter, but it can't be hot straight from the stove, so just give it a few minutes to cool off. Next, you'll want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Lightly grease 2 9-inch round cake pans and line the bottoms with parchment paper. This recipe works best when some of your ingredients are at room temperature, so you'll need 1 cup of buttermilk, 3/4 of a cup of salted butter, and 3 large eggs, all at room temperature. Once you have your strawberry puree and your room temperature ingredients, you're ready to start on your cake batter. Add 3/4 of a cup of salted butter to a large mixing bowl, along with a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. Add in 1.5 cups of granulated sugar. We're going to use a hand mixer to cream this all together. Give it a good 2 minutes of mixing until everything is well combined and creamy. Then you'll add in 1 cup of your concentrated strawberry puree and leave just a little bit to use in the frosting. Then add in a 1/4 cup of sour cream, 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and 1 teaspoon of strawberry extract. Then we'll mix this until just combined. Add your 3 eggs in with 1 cup of buttermilk and use a fork to whisk that and just break up those egg yolks a little bit. In another small mixing bowl, you'll want to mix together 3.5 cups of cake flour with 4 teaspoons of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And just give that a quick stir to combine. We're gonna alternate adding in our dry ingredients with our wet ingredients. So we'll start with 1/3 of our dry ingredients. Mix that in until just combined. You don't want to overmix it. Then just as the flour starts to disappear, I add in 1/2 of the buttermilk mixture. Looks like I missed one of those egg yolks, but that'll be fine. Then another 1/3 of the dry ingredients. Then the remainder of our buttermilk and eggs. And then the rest of our flour mixture. You want to mix this until just combined when there's no more lumps. Now you can see that this is a nice pale pink color, but it will skew brown once it bakes. Of course, it won't impact the flavor at all, but if you want that lovely pink hue to it, you can add in some pink food coloring. And I hate to give you an exact amount. You kind of want to just do it a little bit at a time until the desired color is achieved. The pink from the food coloring won't bake out quite as easily. Divide your mixture as evenly as you can between the 2 prepared baking pans. This is kind of a thick batter, so smooth it out and use a rubber spatula to push the batter all the way to the edges. Then we're gonna bake these in the preheated 350 degree oven for 25 to 30 minutes until the centers of the cake are set. Let the cakes sit and cool in the pan for about 10 minutes before removing them and transferring them to a wire rack to cool completely. Next up is our frosting. I tried a ton of different options to come up with the best frosting that had the most strawberry flavor for our strawberry cake. And what I decided on was a strawberry twist on a Chantilly cream. You'll need 2 cups of heavy cream or whipping cream, along with 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then use a hand mixer to start whipping this together. As you're whipping it, slowly add in 1.5 ounces or 1/2 a package of strawberry jello. Not only does this add in strawberry flavor, it also will help stabilize our frosting so it doesn't deflate. Once your cream starts to thicken up, add in slowly about 1/2 a cup of powdered sugar. And then continue whipping until stiff peaks form, which means you can pull it up and it retains its shape. Rinse your beaters off real quick, and then in a separate mixing bowl, we're gonna cream together 8 ounces of cream cheese with 8 ounces of mascarpone cheese and any of our remaining strawberry puree. Looks like I had about 3 tablespoons. You can use up to 1/4 cup. Then we're gonna beat this together for about 90 seconds. Once that's well combined, smooth and creamy, you'll add in 1½ cups of powdered sugar and mix this until just combined. Then take your cream cheese mixture and we're gonna start folding this in with our whipped cream. Use a rubber spatula to scrape the sides and bottom of the bowl and use a folding motion to gently mix this together until there are no more streaks and the mixture is well combined. Just be gentle and patient and it'll come together in just a couple of minutes. You can just glop this frosting onto your cake and spread it around with a knife, or you can transfer it to a piping bag. This will hold up to some minor piping, like maybe some rosettes. Just be sure that your cake is completely cooled before you try to frost, otherwise it'll melt your frosting and you'll end up with a big mess. Layer your completely cooled cakes with some of that delicious strawberry chantilly cream in the middle. Top off that second layer. Spread the frosting around the edges, and then I'm gonna pipe on some rosettes. This cake will stay good in the fridge for about 3 to 5 days. Thanks for watching. You can find the full written recipe in the video description. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow, and check out the rest of my videos where you can find hundreds of restaurant quality recipes you can easily make at home. See you later.